want to count us down?
In 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Aubrey.
Hello. Someone else is saying hello to us too.
It was so funny. We were just counting down, and right when Aubrey said one, there was a car honk outside. We got that on video.
We
So
did get it on video.
if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, you can just search on thesobergay.com.
Already plugging it. You said beginning of the episode.
Yes, you could watch us live in action on our website,
And I think that's a
thesobergay.com.
great way to do it because I took off my do-rag so you all could see my beautiful locks. Okay,
Beautiful.
so
I love them.
watch the video.
So cute. What are we talking about today?
Well, I think today is a good day to talk about relationships
Yes.
and how our lives have changed since being sober and how our relationships have changed since being
Yes.
sober.
Vastly, I would say. Before I could have been manipulative, I would have been, just a different version of myself. The same me to the core. And I'm glad I went through everything I went through, obviously, to get to this point, but definitely a different person. My intentions were different. How I respect people and view them are different. How I look at people in general is a lot different. Relations with my parents are better. It's not to say that I was drunk and getting into fights with them live, because I've lived apart from my parents since I was 18. And in different states completely most of my life. And I, I just choose to respond to them differently because I don't have a traditional relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that's like, "Oh, my mom and dad mean the world to me and like they're my everything," cuz I had to raise myself to a degree and get to this point with my own morals and values because I didn't really agree with a lot of the things my parents, endorsed and subscribed to. I had to create my own narrative for my life, and so we have a very interesting relationship. I had to choose to keep them in my life as friends, or whatever kind of mentor they could be to me,
Yeah.
and listen to that advice, whatever it could be. I had to make that choice because I don't have this dying need inside of me to be close to them. And I don't know if it's because I'm queer, if it's because of what, or if it's just because of how they raised me, the generation before us. Um, but here we are. um, it's just how it is.
What would you say, like, just out of that small little relationship that you kind of do like hold and you kept on to, what was the biggest thing that made you want to keep on to it? What did you see in that differently sober that made you want to like hold on to the relationship?
Once I knew who I was, I found that since the relationship was so important to them, and it's not like you can just escape a family member. Well, you can, but it's a little different, I guess. I just realized how important it was to them and how happy it made them when I would respond, or not even respond, but take the initiative to talk to them first and message them first, have a good day. I just saw a reflection of how much that meant to them, and I guess that's what was keeping me to hold on, because I knew that they still wanted to know me in this life, even though they might not agree with everything I had, all the decisions I made to get to the point where I am now, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think they always wanted me in their life because I am a beautiful shining star.
Yes. Amen to that.
But really, though, it's like I knew that it meant so much to them, and that was kind of what pulled me to keep the relationship with my parents. And I think it's similar to, my all my friends, because I see all the bridges I burned and how I could now in my sober mind go back and mend some of those things and show effort and show people that I care about them. And I don't know.
I feel like I have a very similar like process in that, and I think granted, me and my parents have a little bit of a closer relationship, and with that, and I think that was a big hindrance in my life when I was drunk all the time. I really lost a part of that. I had them and they were there and like they never left me, thank God. Like I would have died without their help. But like it was a very much a I lived off of them. And they helped me and there was nothing in return. And now I feel like I can give back um to that relationship now, and I feel like I have something to offer to that relationship, which before I didn't. I really didn't offer anything to the relationship except for them to be worried the whole time.
Mm.
So I think that that's the difference now is like I have this calm aura now where my parents don't have to worry about me every day. They don't have to be like, "Oh my god, is he drunk and driving? Is he going to crash? Is he going to die? Is he going to overdrink?" You
Mhm.
know, I think those worries are gone. So now there's this easier like way of talking with them. And I can be open with them about how I'm feeling without getting angry because I think that like there was a huge kind of barrier when I was drunk of like kind of realizing where they were standing, where I was standing. For me, it was just like, no, this is where I'm at. I'm gay. I'm here, and you have to accept that.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, oh, I get where they were at the time. It's like, okay, well, their son just came out as gay.
Yeah. I definitely butt heads with my parents a lot in that time period of my life as well. I remember I'm like I said earlier, I didn't fight with them physically, but I would definitely get drunk and text my dad really awful
Mm-hmm.
things, really, really mean things,
Mm-hmm.
and then have to wake up the next morning hungover and read his response the next morning saying, and my and my dad is a very patient man. He would say like, "Son, why do you get so angry at me and lash out like this in the
Mm.
night? I love you, I care about you," and he would respond that, and that would make me even more angry in the morning, and then I would just, ghost him. I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
anything after that, and it would happen a couple weeks later, and it would just be a repeat cycle. And that was probably I was 21 around
Mm.
that time period, 22 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And same thing with my mom. Like we went through that. We've had a very tumultuous relationship in that same aspect of, before I had therapy, I just didn't know why I was so angry at her. And I went through that whole thing. And then I think after getting sober, going through therapy, I really, got down to the conclusion that we're both just humans,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to experience this life in a different way. And it was just her experience up until this point that led her to make all of the decisions, that she had made. And she's just a human. She's just
Mm-hmm.
having an experience. And I think once I realized that, it just lessens so much of the pedestal we put our parents on,
Mm-hmm.
that thinking that they are the almighty one, that's kind of like what's ingrained in our head as we grow up, that they are the all knowing. But when you kind of step outside of that and look in at the situation, you're saying, okay, well, they were young, you know.
Well, and I think for me, I was able to just see that I had kind of an own internal bias of like I kind of was really more angry at myself,
Mm.
and I kind of put that on. They're also angry at me, and so that kind of really hindered it in the relationship as well. Because for me, it was really I was angry with who I was at the time and where I was with my life because I think I kind of threw my life into this uh I left the church really quickly. Everything kind of like went from like 0 to 180 really, really, really quickly. Um, and I think that's where I just didn't have enough time to reflect on myself. And so I didn't get the time to really understand my parents and what they were trying to say to me and what they were really meaning for me, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but
But on the reverse side of that, it's still your life. No
mhm,
matter if you want to go from 0 to 180 or if you want to go from 0 to 10, it's still your life. And so their worry and it's still just an external factor to your story.
yeah.
Whereas at the end of the day, when they go to bed, that's their story that they're writing, what they do. they choose to worry about you. That's their choice. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
still have
yeah.
to still have to remember that side of it when it comes to that.
Yeah, we all have our own ways. We all go to bed at the end of the night, and we all have taken a different path at that point.
Yeah.
We're all at different parts and different journeys, and we will learn it.
Mhm.
Anyway, I feel like that's one of the biggest relationships I think that I really fixed and learned why I needed to be sober. Along with my friendships as well, and I feel like I've always kind of struggled with friendships in general, and that outside of being sober, I'm just kind of really people would view me as an extrovert, but like really inside, I'm very introverted and very like nerve wracked, anxiety ridden person.
Mhm.
Um, but I see that like now the relationships that I have are more genuine and they're true, and it's a reflection of who I really am as a sober person. It's really like those are the kinds of friends that truly come about when you are reaching for a good life and
Mhm.
reaching for bettering yourself. And so I just see a genuine difference in like the people that I hang out with, and how I interact with them, and how we grow off of each other as opposed to just kind of like poisoning each other with,
Leeching.
yeah, leeching off of each other with these small little things, like because it's almost like when you're drinking, one person drinks, you're like, ooh, I want to drink too, that sounds great, and it
Oh
kind of
yeah.
creates this like, but now it's like, no, I have a lot of other things that I can talk about. I'm sober enough to talk about these other things and really dive deep into life.
Yeah.
um
And you get to choose the people that you do that with, because in sobriety, I don't speak to a lot of the people that I spoke to before, and it's
mm,
not because I don't wanna have a relationship with them, it's just because I don't align with all of the things that they still align with, that I'm just not that Dylan anymore.
mm,
You know?
yeah.
I'm not that girl.
Yeah, you say, "No, I don't go out and party anymore. I don't go out and
No.
get wasted, but I would go out and hang out and talk."
Yeah, I'll go out and hang out until I'm ready to go to bed, and then I go to bed, I
Yeah.
leave. I never I never put myself in a situation where I don't wanna be somewhere. I just
Mm,
don't. And sometimes I'm only out for maybe 15, 20 minutes.